You call it overthinking, but let's be honest, it doesn't feel like thinking. It feels like being trapped inside your own head. You replay conversations. You analyze tone. You wonder what they really meant. You imagine worst-case scenarios. You create backup plans for situations that haven't even happened. And no matter how much you think, you don't feel calmer. You feel more anxious. Here's the truth most people don't talk about. Overthinking is not about intelligence. It's not because you're too deep. It's not because you're more analytical than others. Overthinking is a nervous system that doesn't feel safe. When your brain senses uncertainty, it switches into prediction mode. It believes, if I can predict everything, nothing can hurt me. So it scans for danger. In text messages, in facial expressions, in silence, in the future. The problem is, your brain treats emotional risk like physical danger. Rejection feels like a threat. Embarrassment feels like a threat. Failure feels like a threat. So, your mind starts working overtime. Not to solve the problem, but to prevent pain. Overthinking is emotional armor. It's your brain trying to control what cannot be controlled. But here's the cruel irony. The more you try to control uncertainty, the more anxious you become. Because life is uncertain by nature. There is no perfect decision, no guaranteed outcome, no risk-free path. Overthinking gives you the illusion of progress. It feels like you're doing something. But most of the time, you're just looping. Same thoughts, different angles, same fears, different stories. And beneath all of it, there's usually one core fear. What if I'm not enough? Not smart enough? Not lovable enough? Not capable enough? So you think more. Because if you can think perfectly, maybe you can perform perfectly. And if you perform perfectly, maybe you won't be rejected. But perfection is not protection. It's pressure. There's another thing people don't say. Overthinking can become part of your identity. You tell yourself, I'm just an overthinker, and your brain accepts that as a role. So it keeps proving it. Because the brain loves consistency, even if consistency hurts you. So what actually helps? Not just stop thinking. That doesn't work. Instead, notice when thinking turns into rumination. Ask yourself, am I solving something? Or am I trying to eliminate uncertainty? If the goal is certainty, you'll never reach it. Set boundaries for your thoughts. Give yourself a time limit to reflect. Write it down instead of letting it swirl. Then choose an action, even a small one, because action interrupts loops. And here's the most important shift. Safety does not come from predicting everything. It comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever happens. You don't need to think your way to peace. You need to build tolerance for not knowing. Overthinking isn't a flaw. It's a coping strategy. But at some point, the strategy that once protected you starts imprisoning you. And freedom begins the moment you realize you don't need a perfect thought to take a real step forward. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this.